Hello out there in YouTube land. This is going to be something that I've never done before, but since Prince passed away last week, I just wanted to honor him and pay tribute to him in the only way that I know how to do it, which is going over his astrology chart. And what a magnificent astrology chart it is. Everybody's got a special astrology chart, but with his chart, I mean, it's just so amazing in so many different ways. He was definitely someone who I feel lived up to his potential. And so, with that being said, let's just dive in and let me show you what I'm talking about here. First of all, yes, indeed, Prince is a sun sign Gemini. However, I would actually say that he's an honorary Scorpio. And if you take a look here, this is his astrology chart, and he's got a Scorpio ascendant. He's got a sun in the 8th house of Scorpio, and he's got Pluto, which is the ruler of Scorpio, precisely aligned with his midheaven. The midheaven is the highest point in the heavens. It's the beginning of the 10th house of career. And he really was someone who demonstrated all these characteristics of Scorpio: magnetic, charismatic, reclusive, private, very emotional, powerful emotions, very sexual, and just a really powerful person, especially his public persona. I mean, it was so powerful, I would say that it was intimidating, and when I look at his chart, especially with Pluto here, this is really unique. So here's why. Just Pluto on the midheaven by itself says that he's meant to have a powerful impact in the world, and he's determined to make his mark on the world. And if you look at this, and I'll show you here, so these are the aspects to his Pluto, and he's got a kite configuration. And so this is a trine aspect. It's 120 degrees from Pluto to Saturn. I'm going to break this down real quick. He was incredibly disciplined, really to the point of being obsessive about being a perfectionist. Okay, Venus. Whenever I look at an artist's chart, I'm looking for Venus, a strong Venus, and a strong Neptune, or at least one of those. He had both. He had the trine aspect, Venus to Pluto. He had the sextile aspect, Neptune to Pluto in the midheaven. Okay, and then the moon opposite. So basically, it's a triangle with a line through it, and it looks like a kite. So it's a kite formation. It just indicates that he was incredibly focused and had a lot of gifts. And what I would say about his chart that really impresses me is just how dedicated, just how disciplined, and just how fierce he was, that he was going to do whatever it took to master his craft. And I would confidently say that he did just that. He was a masterful guitarist, a prolific songwriter, an amazing performer. And he just didn't rewrite the same 2 or 3 songs. I mean, he tried so many different things, and he's just incredibly versatile, which would be his sun in Gemini. In fact, I would say if he had to do the same old thing, he would get bored with it. He likes to always be reinventing things, and he certainly did that. Now, going back to this Pluto, in astrology, there's a concept called fixed stars, which are basically suns and other galaxies that are rather large because we can see them. So the brighter it is, the bigger they are, the more powerful they are. And his Pluto in midheaven are on a fixed star that's called Regulus. It's the heart of the lion. Again, it just gives him even more power, more charisma, more courage to just be himself, and this is who I am. And another thing that I'd like to say is that his public persona, again, was one of so much confidence. I know who I am, I know what I can do, sit back and enjoy it. Yet, privately, he had the moon in Pisces in the 4th house of Cancer. So first of all, a ton of water. In my opinion, the best artists can really effectively put their emotions across, whether it's they're expressing joy or optimism or gut-wrenching heartbreak. And he was just masterful at that. I mean, I don't think that he could do it any other way. He's got this moon opposite Pluto, Venus trine Pluto. He was one intense dude, you know. He was a very deep person, a very deep thinker. But the moon in Pisces and Cancer, he was shy. He was actually an introvert. And to me, it makes it even all that more impressive that he could kind of like flick a switch, and then he's the public prince. And then there's, you know, the more private prince, which I've heard a lot of interviews lately, and everyone talks about how surprised they were that he was soft-spoken and shy. And with this energy, I would say that he really, there's no place like home for him. You know, again, the moon's in the fourth house of Cancer. He really values his home, his alone time. Again, Scorpio is very private, so he cherished that alone time. I would say it was sacred for him. But the moon in Pisces, in the fourth house, I would say that for him, not only his physical home, but Minneapolis, where he's from. He was very loyal to that location and that place, and took a lot of pride from growing up there and still being a part of that community. And that's a very Cancerian trait, and he definitely demonstrated that. Another thing, since he's passed, again, he was very private, and he didn't really like his business being broadcast or, you know, over the press, but he was a humanitarian and a very compassionate person. And the moon in Pisces, I mean, that's what that's about. He deeply felt the pain of others less fortunate than himself, and he wanted to make the world a better place. And again, I saw this interview with one of his close friends, and he would give shows or perform shows just to raise money for causes and give all the money to whatever that cause was. And a very impressive individual, and I just wanted to again honor him. I'm a child of the 80s. I grew up in the 80s, and he's definitely part of my soundtrack to my life growing up. So with that said, hope you've enjoyed it, and I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.